Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Saturday Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. Om Jnana Tinamandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnubhadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Vishnubhadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Vir Krishna Das Goswami Iti Namine. Namo Hamsana Kashaya Prabhupada Priyayate Sudrita Sudi Nistyambhyam Tashavaki. We are reading the Madhya 22. It's entitled The Process of Devotional Service. And we are starting again from text 52. I'm going to just read text 51 so everybody can have an idea of what we're talking about. The English, unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. So that was what was left off with, and the next text is text 52. Rahuganata tapasya na jati na chedyaya nirvapanad grihava na chandasa naiva jalangni suryar vina mahatpada rajo vishekam. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajan or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshiping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyas or grihasta order, nor is it attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, Text 12. Jad Bharat herein tells King Rahugana how he attained the Paramahamsa stage. Maharaj Rahugana, the king of Sindhu Sarvira, had asked Jad Bharat how he had attained the Paramahamsa stage. The king had called him to carry his palanquin, but when the king heard from Paramahamsa Jad Bharat about the supreme philosophy, he expressed surprise and asked Jad Bharat how he had attained such great liberation. At that time, Jad Bharat informed the king how to become detached from material attraction. Now text 53. Naishamatis tavaruru kramangrim sprisatyantarta pagamo yararta mahiyasambara rajo bhishekam nischinchananam navriniti yavat. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of life. Purport, this verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 32. When the great sage Narada was giving instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira, he narrated the activities of Prahlad Maharaj. This verse was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj to his father, Hiranyakshipu, the king of demons. Prahlad Maharaj had informed his father of the 9 basic processes of Bhakti Yoga, explaining that whoever takes to these processes is to be considered a highly learned scholar. Hiranyakshipu, however, did not like his son to talk about devotional service. Therefore, he immediately called Prahlad's teacher, Shanda. The teacher explained that he had not taught devotional service to Prahlad, but that the boy was naturally inclined that way. At that time, Hiranyakshipu became very angry and asked Prahlad why he had become a Vaishnava. In answer to this question, Prahlad Maharaj recited this verse to the effect that one cannot become the Lord's devotee without receiving the mercy and blessings of another devotee. And we know the secret of why Prahlad Maharaj became a Vaishnava, because he heard from Narada Muni while he was still in the womb of his mother. So he was able to become a devotee in that way through a very narrow path of hearing and chanting coming through the umbilical cord and the surroundings. Text 54. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Purport, according to astronomical calculations, a lava is 1/11 of a second. Lava mantra, even for a moment. Tulya yama lavanapi na svargam na punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasha Martyanam Kim Utashisha. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 13. This verse concerns the Vedic rites and sacrifices performed by the great sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi. The sages pointed out that association with a devotee for even less than a second is beyond comparison to 1,000 Vedic rituals and sacrifices, elevation to heavenly planets, or merging into the existence of the Supreme. And we all have had that a little bit of association from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, either from his books, or from his devotees, or from his very self. Krishna Kripalu Arjunere Laksha Karya Jagatere Rakiya Chena Upadesha Diya. Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given protection to the whole world. Sarva Guya Tamam Buya Srinu Me Paramam Vacha Ishtushi me dridamiti tato vakshami dehitam manmana bhavad madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mame vaishashi satyamte pratijane priyosimi. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you, my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. This is a quotation from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, texts 64 through 65. We all have that benediction from the Lord. And he's saying, we are his very dear friend. He's always residing in the hearts of every living entity, and he's helping us from within and without to come to him very easily if we just listen. Text 59. Purva agna veda dharma karma yoga jnana sabha sadi sheshaye agna balavan. Although Krishna previously explained the proficiency of executing Vedic rituals, performing fruitive activity as enjoined in the Vedas, practicing yoga, and cultivating jnana, these last instructions are most powerful and stand above all the others. Ayagna bale bhaktira shradaya dihaya sarva karma tvagakari se Krishna bhajaya. If the devotee has faith in the strength of this order, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities, which is what we're all doing here. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvedyeta yavata madkata sravanadova sradayavana jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 20, Text 9. So we have all been so fortunate to be blessed by this one moment of association with the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, to come to this platform of devotional service and develop a taste. If we didn't have some taste, some little bit of taste, we wouldn't be sitting here right at this second. So we're so fortunate to have had that teaser to get that taste, and now we're executing the 9 processes of devotional service. So we have sort of skipped over all those other methods that are enjoined in the Vedic scriptures, particularly Jnana Yoga, all of the rituals and things that, while they're a way to Krishna, it's more like a circuitous route. We're going the very direct route by Bhakti Yoga and the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srada sabde vishvasya kahe sudrida nishchaya Krishne bhakti kaile sarva karma krita haya. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Purport: firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. When one engages in the Lord's devotional service, he is to be understood to have performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary living entities, and demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibilities separately. It is automatically done. Fruitive activity, karma, is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activity. The best achievement of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life, and this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. We are the most fortunate persons on the planet. Make no mistake, we have arrived to our best position. We just have to keep the faith and stay in it to win it. Text 63. Yata taror mula nishe chanena Tripyanti tat skanda bujo pakshakaya pranopaharachayatendriyanam tateva sarvahanamachyuteja. By pouring water on the root of a tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach where it nourishes the life air, one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshiping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the demigods. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 31, Text 14. Shraddhavan janahaya bhaktiya dikari uttama madhyama kanishta shraddhanusari. A faithful devotee is a truly eligible candidate for the loving service of the Lord. According to one's faith, one is classified as a topmost devotee, an intermediate devotee, or an inferior devotee. Purport: the word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the summum bonum, the eternal truth and absolute transcendence. If one has full faith in Krishna and confidence in him, one becomes eligible to discharge devotional service confidentially. According to one's faith, one is a topmost, intermediate, or inferior devotee. Shastra yukte sunipuna drida srada yanra uttama adhikari setaraye samsara. One who is expert in logic, argument, and the revealed scriptures and who has firm faith in Krishna is classified as a topmost devotee. He can deliver the whole world. Shastre yukta cha nipuna sarvata drida nishchaya praudha srado dikariya sabhakta vutamo banta. One who is expert in logic and in understanding the revealed scriptures, and who always has firm conviction and deep faith that is not blind, is to be considered a topmost devotee in devotional service. This verse appears in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.17 by Srila Rupa Goswami. Sastra yukti nahi jane drida sradavan madhyamadhikari se mahabhagyavan. One who is not very expert in argument and logic based on the revealed scriptures, but who has firm faith, is considered a second-class devotee. He also must be considered most fortunate. Ya sastradve ani puna sradavan satu madhyama. He who does not know scriptural argument very well, but who has firm faith, is called an intermediate or second-class devotee. This verse appears in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.18. Yahara komala srada se kanishta jana krame krame tenho bhakta haivi uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Yo bhavet komala srada sa kanishto nigadyate. One whose faith is not very strong, who is just beginning, should be considered a neophyte devotee. This verse also appears in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.19. Rate prema taratamye bhakta taratama ekadasa skande tarakariyache lakshana. A devotee who is considered superlative or superior according to his attachment and love. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the following symptoms have been given. Purport: Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has stated that if one has developed faith in Krishna consciousness, he is to be considered an eligible candidate for further advancement in Krishna consciousness. Those who have faith are divided into 3 categories: Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta, first class, second class, and neophyte. A first-class devotee has firm conviction in the revealed scriptures and is expert in arguing according to the Shastra. He is firmly convinced of the science of Krishna consciousness. The Madhyama Adhikari, or second-class devotee, has firm conviction in Krishna consciousness, but he cannot support his conviction by citing Shastric references. The neophyte devotee does not yet have firm faith. In this way, the devotees are typed. The standard of devotion is also categorized in the same way. A neophyte believes that only love of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good, but he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness or how one can become a perfect devotee. Sometimes in the heart of a neophyte there is attraction for karma, jnana, or yoga. When he is free and transcendental to mixed devotional activity, he becomes a second-class devotee. When he becomes expert in logic and can refer to the Shastras, he becomes a first-class devotee. The devotees are also described as positive, comparative, and superlative in terms of their love and attachment for Krishna. It should be understood that a Madhyama Adhikari, a second-class devotee, is fully convinced of Krishna consciousness, but cannot support his convictions with Shastric reference. A neophyte may fall down by associating with non-devotees because he is not firmly convinced and strongly situated. The second-class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric reference, can gradually become a first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with a first-class devotee. However, if the second-class devotee does not advance himself by associating with a first-class devotee, he makes no progress. There is no possibility that a first-class devotee will fall down, even though he may mix with non-devotees to preach. Conviction and faith gradually increase to make one an Uttama Adhikari, a first-class devotee. And that says a lot about our society. We're able to discern who is a first-class devotee based on their firm, steady determination and their fixed devotional service in Krishna consciousness for many years. And we seek that association. The lower devotees seek the association of the more advanced devotees. We should always maintain a humble position and inquire from them submissively, so we're able to better understand this process. And it's ongoing. As long as we remain in the bhakti process sincerely and with determination, and we can understand that the process works 100% of the time. So we just must stay in it, keep chanting, try our best to chant better and better rounds, really connect with the holy names, and to also associate with the sadhus. And of course there's scriptural, where there's so many scriptures we can read. So sadhu, shastra, and guru, those are the 3 things that all of us are able to avail ourselves to as we're in this bhakti process. And I found that as long as we don't struggle too much to leave those 3 things, or to we can try our best to have those things in our life each day, the process becomes much easier if we don't struggle and we're actually fixed in our conviction to progress. Because if we're in this process, why would we not want to progress? That's our purpose, is so we can get to that point to share Krishna consciousness with others. And the only way we can do that is to become firmly fixed on our own convictions and be able to talk to persons intelligently about the scriptures that we're reading. So Prabhupada herein gives those references and is definitely a good reminder, particularly for myself, that I need to more and more study and associate and inquire submissively amongst the sadhus, or the first-class devotees. Excuse me. Text 72. Sarva bhuteshu yad prashed bhagavad bhavamatmana bhutani bhagavat yatmani esha bhagavatotama. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 45. I'm just going to repeat that last line. He always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. It seems that many times devotees are not understanding, what's going on, or why is something happening to them? Why is this way, or why is that way? And if we just can possibly see Krishna as behind all things, because not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord, then we can understand that we're just Krishna's prakriti. We're his playthings. We're actually here to try and please the Lord, and he may handle us roughly by his embrace, or make us brokenhearted by not being present before us. He should always remain our worshipable Lord unconditionally, no matter what sort of trials and tribulations come to us as we're in this process, because they definitely will come. Isvare tada dineshu balisheshu dvashattu cha Prema maitri kripo peksha yakaroti samadhyama. An intermediate second-class devotee shows love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is friendly to all devotees, and is very merciful to neophytes and ignorant people. The intermediate devotee neglects those who are envious of devotional service. This is also a quotation from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 46. This statement was made by the great sage Narada, while he was speaking to Vasudeva about devotional service. This subject was originally discussed between Nimi, the king of Videha, and the 9 Yogendras. Archayameva haraye pujamya shrada yehate nadtad bhakteshu janyeshu sadbhakta prakrita smrita. A prakrita bhakta, or materialistic devotee, does not purposefully study the Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. Consequently, he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulative principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. He is to be considered on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a person is a bhakta praya, neophyte devotee, or bhakta bhash, for he is a little enlightened by Vaishnava philosophy. This verse is also from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 47. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that one who has full love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who maintains a good friendship with the Lord's devotees is always callous to those who envy Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Such a person is to be considered an intermediate devotee. He becomes a first-class devotee when, in the course of advancing in devotional service, he feels an intimate relationship with all living entities, seeing them as part and parcel of the Supreme Person. Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sarire Krishna Bhakti Krishnera Guna Sakala Shankare. A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Yashati Bhaktir Bhagavat Yat Kinchana Sarva Gunas Tatra Samasate Sura Haravai Bhaktasya Kuto Mahad Guna Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi. In one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. This was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj and his followers who were offering prayers to Nrsingadev. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 12. Se Sabha Gunahaya Vaishnava Lakshana Sabe Kaha Nayaya Kari Digdarasana. All these transcendental qualities are the characteristics of pure Vaishnavas, and they cannot be fully explained. But I shall try to point out some of the important qualities. Kripalu Akrita Droha Satya Sarasama Nidosha Vadanya Mridu Suchi Akinchana Sarvopakaraka Santa Krishnaika Sharana Akama Aniha Stira Vijita Sadguna Mita Buk Apramata Mananda Mani Gambira Karuna Maitra Kavi Daksha Mauni. Devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild, and clean. They are without material possessions, and they perform welfare work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna, and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in devotional service. They completely control the 6 bad qualities: lust, anger, greed, and so forth. They eat only as much as required, and they are not inebriated. They are respectful, grave, compassionate, and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. Tatikshava karunika surita sarvadehinam ajata satrava santa sadhava sadhubhushana. Devotees are always tolerant, forbearing, and very merciful. They are the well-wishers of every living entity. They follow the scriptural injunctions, and because they have no enemies, they are very peaceful. These are the decorations of the devotees. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 21. When the sages, headed by Shaunaka, inquired about Kapiladev, the incarnation of Godhead, Sutta Goswami, who was the topmost devotee of the Lord, quoted talks about self-realization between Vidura and Maitreya, a friend of Vyasadev's. During these talks, the topic of Lord Kapila had come up, and at that time Maitreya had repeated Kapiladev's discussions with his mother, wherein the Lord states that attachment to material things is the cause of conditioned life. When a person becomes attached to transcendental things, he is on the path of liberation. And we're so fortunate, once again, I cannot expound enough on our great fortune to Srila Prabhupada that he has bestowed upon us so many things that we can actually become attached to, which are transcendental and will lead us on the path of liberation. We have obviously the scriptures that we can take shelter of and learn about life and how to conduct ourselves. The devotees of which we can try and serve and associate and speak about Krishna too, and also the deity, the Archana Vigraha, the worship of Krishna, the direct intimate worship of Krishna and Radha. There's so many things that, and of course, what to speak of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna is there in his name, and if we try to connect with him, he can give us all realization about these things. There's no lack of things we may be attached to, even prasadam in the form of foodstuffs and other flowers and things that we receive directly from the Dham and the deities. There's no lack. I'm sure we've all met people who are, we meet in the store, they see our tulsi beads and they immediately are drawn to them. What is it? What is that you're wearing? Is that wood? And that can initiate a conversation about Krishna. So everyone has attraction for something. That's our conditioned state. We're all hankering for material enjoyment. But if we can shift that enjoyment to those transcendental things, and even just people off the street, they like the Harinam. They are appreciative to receive some literature, even if it's a pamphlet or a cookie, and there's that little spark that can be lit. And, the devotees are there to light that spark, and we just have to come to the platform where we can be more compassionate to all the living beings so we can help them progress on their path of devotional service. And maybe it won't be so far in this life based on conditioning, but even a little bit of advancement by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, by taking a Bhagavad Gita. Even if they touch the book, they are eternally benefited. And even by a little morsel of Mahaprasadam, there's so many ways to try to help others advance on this path of devotional service. And as Prabhupada's emissaries, his little sparks, we can also help others in that way, as we're going to do today in the Rath Yatra and parade and carry. So I'll stop there. I think, oh no, it's only 7:08. I thought it was, I can't see the clock because the flag is in the way, so I'll just read through a little bit more. Text 82. Mahat sevam dvara mahur vimukte stamo dvaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahataste samachita prasanta Vimanyava surida sadovoye. It is the verdict of all shastras and great personalities that service to a pure devotee is the path of liberation. By contrast, associating with materialistic people who are attached to material enjoyment and women is the path of darkness. Those who are actually devotees are broad-minded, equal to everyone, and very peaceful. They never become angry, and they are friendly to all living entities. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 2. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Teno Puna Mukya Anga. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with devotees is still most essential. It reminds me of the time that Prabhupada, when asked, how did one have the good fortune of devotional service, Prabhupada stated that he made our good fortune. Prabhupada made our good fortune by giving us this process. And we can still associate with Prabhupada every day in his books and classes. Bhava pavargo brahmato yada bhavij janasha haryachutya satsamagama satsangamo yarhi tadaiva sadgato parava reshe tvahi jayate rati. O my Lord, O infallible person, when a person wandering through the universes becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, he gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal of the topmost devotees, and the Lord of the universe. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 51, Text 53. How long have we been wandering in this material universe? Billions of lifetimes. There's no knowledge. We don't have any idea, but we've been wandering for so many lifetimes. And somehow, in this one lifetime, by the minuscule seconds, we're infinitesimal, but somehow Srila Prabhupada has reached us. We've gotten this wonderful boon to be able to understand this bhakti process. It's quite remarkable. I heard once that to become initiated by a bona fide spiritual master is like if a turtle is swimming in the ocean, and the vast ocean, even on this planet, it's very vast, but at the one moment that the turtle has to come up for air, that he sticks his head through the knot of a piece of wood, through a log, through the hole, and then he's able to actually be able to float on that ocean. He can actually have a little bit of shelter. He can stay afloat. And that's our position. It's so actually unbelievable and incredible and astonishing that we've had that one brief opportunity. And it's the attestation of whoever takes to that devotional service that they can actually grasp it and they can go with it. They can surrender to it and continue with it. It's not an easy feat in this material world to execute the processes, the 9 processes of devotional service, to actually continue in this bhakti process. It's not easy. There's so many opposing factors to our efforts. Text 85. Ata adyantikam kshemam prichamo bhavato naga samsaresmin shannaradopi satsanga sevadir nrinam. O devotees, O you who are free from all sins, let me inquire from you about that which is supremely auspicious for all living entities. Associating with a pure devotee for even half a moment in this material world is the greatest treasure for human society, or even a lava, 1/11 of a second, lava. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, Chapter 2, Text 30. Okay, yeah, I'll wrap it up with this. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavati hritkarna rasanaya kata tajoshnanasva parvarga vartmani sradaratir bhaktir anukramishati. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Jai. That is a great verse. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Goloka Nanda Ki Jai. Panchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayataksam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami. Govindam.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurani Bachar Nekele Visesha Shanyavade Vasyachare Saturne. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaurata Vrinda. Shri Krishna Nana Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Siva Sadi Norvadurina Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayarat, Hagarakinananan, Hagarakinanadagate. Narat, Hagarakinananan, Hagarakinanadagate. Narat, hey, run, run, Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Paracharya Okita Shri Shiva His divine grace Savaya Charana Bhaktivinoda Goswami Shila Prabhupada God found Charya Shilupad Ananta Devotee Vaishnava
Like Mother Leela Shakti said, this afternoon we're having the Rath Yatra parade at the Cary Christmas parade, and it starts at 2 o'clock, and the decorations begin at 12 o'clock, and it's going to be warm somehow or other. Krishna's made the arrangements, and it's at we assemble at 515 East Chatham Street, which is the same place we always do. So Ditch and Ryan's got it on the WhatsApp. You can just put it in your GPS. So, Lord Jagannath Ki Jai. Jagannath Rath Yatra Ki Jai. Chaitodarbana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pradipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Paramijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Mahoda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amrite Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tavakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Ajanina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Turorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim. Love the effulgences. Namitamani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nainam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gadgaruadaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastrusa Evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I've fallen into the ocean of transit. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.